Well, folks, the dust is finally settling in the Middle East after months of heavy bombardment, targeted strikes, and a war that shook the global economy to its core. The United States and Iran have reached a ceasefire. In June 2026, a landmark agreement was forged, halting the devastating conflict that began in February. President Donald Trump has declared victory, securing what he calls a big promise from Tehran. Iran will never acquire a nuclear weapon. But in the high-stakes game of Middle Eastern geopolitics, things aren't always what they seem. Is this a true surrender, or just a calculated pause? Today, we're diving deep into the US-Iran peace deal, the historical Islamic strategy of Al-Hudaybiyya, and Iran's long game for regional dominance. Let's look at the facts on the ground. The war, which kicked off on February 28, 2026, saw massive US and Israeli strikes crippling Iran's infrastructure, military leadership, and nuclear sites. Faced with sheer devastation, Tehran came to the table. By mid-June, an agreement was reached, mediated heavily by Pakistan and other regional players. The core of the deal? Iran agreed to a phased ceasefire, the reopening of the vital Strait of Hormuz, and most importantly to Washington, a renewed pledge to never seek, develop, or acquire nuclear weapons. Within 60 days of the signing, a process is supposed to begin to remove or destroy Iran's highly enriched uranium. President Trump touted this as a historic concession, but nuclear experts are scratching their heads. You see, Iran has made this exact same promise for over 50 years. The preamble of this new agreement echoes old pledges. So did America bomb Iran into submission, or did Tehran just trade a piece of paper for survival? To understand Iran's move, we need to look back to the year 628 AD. In Islamic political thought, there is a famous precedent for making peace with a superior enemy when the chips are down. It's called the Treaty of Al-Hudaybiyya. Back in 628 AD, the Prophet Muhammad and his followers were in Medina, facing the powerful Quraysh tribe of Mecca. Outgunned and vulnerable, Muhammad negotiated a 10-year truce. To some of his followers, the terms looked like a humiliating surrender. They had to retreat and make major concessions. But Muhammad knew what he was doing. The treaty bought him time. It stopped the attacks, legitimized his political standing, and allowed him to build his strength and deal with other rivals. Just 2 years later, when the Quraysh allegedly breached the treaty, Muhammad marched on Mecca with an army of 10,000 men and took the city without a major fight. Modern analysts see the Ayatollahs in Tehran playing the exact same hand. Faced with the overwhelming firepower of the US and Israel and a domestic economy in ruins, Iran's leadership opted for a tactical retreat. They sign the paper, they stop the bombs, and they survive. The 2026 peace deal isn't a change of heart, it's the Hudaybiyya model in action. They live to fight another day. So what is Iran saving its strength for? Regional hegemony. For decades, Iran has been building an empire, not through direct conquest, but through a shadow army of proxies, the axis of resistance. From Hezbollah in Lebanon to the Houthis in Yemen to militias in Iraq and Syria, Iran has surrounded its enemies. The recent war inflicted terrible damage on Iran and its allies. Israel pounded Lebanon, trying to wipe out Hezbollah, and the US hammered Iranian infrastructure. But the Iranian regime is built on resilience. Their proxies are entrenched. Even with their nuclear program paused and their cities battered, Iran's strategic goal remains unchanged: to push the United States out of the Middle East and encircle Israel. By securing this ceasefire, Iran protects its regime from total collapse. They will use the lifting of sanctions and the unfreezing of assets to rebuild their shattered economy and rearm their proxies. The war may have delayed their ambitions, but the ideological drive to dominate the Middle East is hardwired into the Islamic Republic. The June 2026 agreement might have stopped the bombs from falling, and it might keep the oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz for now. But history tells us that a peace built on tactical retreats is a fragile one. If Tehran is truly following the playbook of Al-Hudaybiyya, this isn't the end of the conflict. It's just half-time. America got its nuclear promise, but Iran kept its regime alive. The Middle East remains a powder keg, and the next spark is only a matter of time.
Thanks for watching, folks. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments. Do you think this peace deal will hold, or is Iran just buying time? Until next time, stay sharp.